Hi, everyone, and welcome to my channel. I am Coach Sherry, and this is my day 67 of going live every day for 90 days. And this is also part of my podcast series, Real Talk with Coach Sherry. So if you're watching this on the replay, you can either check out my lives, you can check out my playlist for my podcasts, as well as my pre records and my shorts. I appreciate all of the support. And for all of you that tune in live and chat with me, as well as those that leave comments when you watch the replay. Now, this session, we're going to talk about the importance of understanding love languages, and I'm excited to get into this topic for sure. I see Rudy is in the building. Thank you for the time check. I appreciate that. Remember, I am a hour ahead of you. Yes, already uploaded 61 for 67. Thank you. I appreciate your support and for you being here. Thank you so much. Let me tell you, the importance of understanding love languages is no joke. And one of the things that I always tell couples, whether they've been married for a short period of time or a long period of time, is to try and figure out each other's love language, figure out your own, how you would like to receive, and how you want to be approached, as well as your partners. It is so important. I wish this is something that I was made aware of in the very beginning of our marriage. I've been married for 29 years, because once I did realize it, once my husband realized it, it was a game changer. So definitely, you want to understand each other's love language so that you can treat each other according to that. Be adaptable, be flexible. The more you know, the more you know. Good evening, Elevate with Vern. It's good to see you. I hope you had a great day. This is Friday Eve, and we are fast approaching the weekend. Yes, Floyd. Floyd is in the building. In the building. I hope you are doing well. It's always great to see you. Thank you. We're going to be talking about the importance of understanding love languages. If you are going to a wedding, going to an engagement party, I think this book is a dynamic gift. It is going to be the gift that keeps on giving, because, as relationships evolve, so does the love languages. And the more you know, the more you will grow together. I love you too, Elevate with Vern. You are the YouTube dynamic cheerleader. You are so wonderful. Thank you. I love you too, absolutely. And so, with the love languages, a lot of times people give vases, or they may give money, or, but this right here is so valuable, and it helps with communication. It definitely helps a relationship grow and evolve. So, I really hope you have your pen and paper ready so that you can take down these nuggets that I'm going to drop. This is a book, and the book is written by Gary Chapman. And Gary Chapman wrote this book many years ago, and it's a true concept. The concept of love languages again was introduced by him, and his book is called The Five Love Languages, and it identifies five primary ways people express and receive love. And when you can understand that in all relationships, as I was doing research for this, there's the relationships, of course, within with your partner, be it your spouse or someone that you are dating. Also relationships with other family members, your children, your extended family, your friendships, and the relationships in your workplace. So we're going to touch on, basically, we're going to focus on, I want to say, the love languages between you and your partner. However, I am going to share the link to the free place where you can take the quiz, and there you can decide if you want to take the quiz on your family, on your partner, on your friendship, or your workplace. All right. I see that Sassy is in the building. Hi and welcome, Sassy. Thank you for tuning in. It's great to see you. I am Coach Sherry, and I am doing a Go Live Every Day for 90 Days challenge. I am on day 67, and I'm really proud of doing that. I've been on YouTube. This is my 16th year. I have been a content creator, a serious content creator for the past 4 years. So I'm doing this in celebration leading up to my Sweet 16, which is June 30th. And so I'm going to have some type of celebration. I already posted the live, so you all are welcome to come in. And I see Vern is saying, yes, love languages. Yep. And TWP Popcorn, what is popping? What is up? Every time I say your name, it really makes me want to say what's popping. I hope you're doing well. And I see everyone is speaking. Yes, Elevate with Vern. I have been on YouTube for 16 years. I started out with just, doing a channel, not to be a content creator, but to have a channel so I can come on and look at the different videos and such. I started out looking for tutors, math tutors, to help me understand what was that math my children were coming home with. They would come home with math homework, and my husband and I would not know how to help them. And so I don't know what made me, but something drew me to YouTube, or maybe it was Google. I Googled it and it pulled up a YouTube channel, and we were always able to find an instructor at a whiteboard going over the problems, and it was very helpful. And then I just started in my, doing research and looking at different videos. So I was a viewer for many, many years. And then right at the beginning of COVID, or just before the beginning of COVID, I want to say a year before, I really started thinking, you know what? I can do this. I have a lot of information I want to share, and this is my legacy. I want my future's future to be able to look back and hear some of the things that I was sharing. Also, here and there in the beginning, I tried to be a content creator, but it was so much more challenging. You had to do it from your computer. I always would lose my videos, my pre-recorded videos in my computer somewhere, could never find it to upload it. So I do have a couple from back in the day. But I just was like, let me just watch. But as I started watching again, I started seeing people that resonated with me, people that made me feel like, I could do this too. And I'm not surprised that it happened like that, because I don't know if any of you remember when people used to blog all the time. They would write. We had WordPress blogs, and there was another one called Blogster. I think it was called Blogster or something like that. But a lot of people would write blogs, and people from all over the world would read them, and it was a marketing tool. Actually, you would be a subject matter expert and you would just put your content out there. Well, I started doing that, as well as blogging when I was caring for my mother. I have a blog called ALS Caregiver that even to this day, people all over the world are still reaching out and are reading it and leaving me comments and going through the same thing. But I remember before starting blogging, I used to read other people's blogs, and I was just amazed at how successful their blogs were. And back then, it was the success of how many viewers or readers of their blogs and the comments that they would leave, because it just impacted their lives so much. But when I would read some of the blogs, I would see so many typos and grammatical errors. And I was like, wow, this person still posted this and it has all of these mistakes in it. And then I came to realize, because one person in particular that I followed, her and I became, we became acquainted. We would communicate on the phone. I never met her in person, but we became acquainted. And I said to her, I said, do you ever, review your blogs? Do you ever do any spell checks or anything? And she said, no. She said, it's not about that. I'm just trying to crank out this information. The people that are reading it, and I'm talking about people all over the world, she was like, they don't care about that. They just really want the content. And when I would read her comments, it was that the people just were so happy to receive that information. And so I was like, I'm here trying to make everything perfect. And it's not about perfection. It's about the information. Now, I'm not saying I'm out here, putting things out with typos and grammatical errors or anything like that. I mean, if I do, I do, so be it. I'm not doing it purposefully, that's for sure. But it's really about putting what you know is also needed, something that has helped you along the way, sharing that information, giving people those nuggets to help them personally and professionally. That's my goal. And so if you are out here and you are just a viewer on YouTube, if I can do it after having been on YouTube for 16 years, and who knows, you may have been on as long, you just never really counted the years. If I could do it, you definitely can. You may look at some of these bigger content creators and wonder, wow, I probably won't be able to do that. I wonder how they got started. They are phenomenal. But they may be talking about something you also have a point of view on. And not everyone started somewhere. No one started with a million viewers. No one started with 2,000 viewers or 1,000 viewers. Everyone started with one viewer at a time. So I encourage everyone to just put their toes in the water and just start, just start. Thank you so much, Sassy. Nice to meet you as well. I see everyone is still um, yes. Thank you, Rudy. You're Central. We're Eastern Standard Time. I really appreciate when you do the time check. Yes. Thank you again, Elevate with Vern, for encouraging everyone to give this live a thumbs up. I appreciate that. And if you are new to this channel, whether you're here in the live or in the replay, I invite you to join this team by hitting the subscribe button and the bell for notifications so you're notified when I do upload a video or go live. This channel is about workforce development, career readiness, entrepreneurship, real life, real issues, and real talk. And again, this is my pleasure sharing this information with you. So let's get started. Oh my goodness, let's get started. So I try to get my images and everything together so that you can see some great things as well as take down some notes. So we're going to talk about the importance of understanding love languages, and there are actually 5 types. And again, this information can be found in Gary Chapman's book, The 5 Love Languages. Now, the first love language is the acts of service. And this is when, you're doing helpful or supportive actions for a loved one, such as cooking a meal or helping with chores. Now, I'm going to tell you, we were probably about year 10 or 12 into our marriage. We've been married for 29 years when we realized each other's love languages. If you don't know your partner's love language, whether it's your personal relationship or your professional relationship, you can possibly take that person for granted or not accept their love language in a way that will support them. If your love language is the complete opposite, you might say, why are you doing that? That's not, I don't like that, but that's their love language. And so when you understand it, the more you understand, the more that you will be able to receive it with a good, clear heart and understand that, that's their way of showing me that they love me. But at the same time, this is why it's important for you and your partner to do it together. They need to understand your love language. So how you like to receive it, is how they have to give you that at times too. And you have to give them their love language back at them. This is not a mirrored thing. It's a understanding for sure. So the first is acts of service. The next is physical touch, expressing love through physical contact like hugs, kisses, or holding hands. And, I think, especially since COVID, with people being at a distance, not in relationships necessarily, not person to person, in person relationships, that physical touch is not as it's not as it's not well known or well seen or done. You don't see it as much anymore. It was a time when you would always see people holding hands and things of that nature. Now people, it's almost like they forgot how to do that. But there are still those people that really want that physical touch. And if that's your partner, you have to intentionally do that for them. It may not be all the time like they would like it, but you have to take their love language into consideration and give it to them some of the time. The next would be receiving gifts, giving or receiving thoughtful gifts as a token of love. And let me tell you, this is one of my husband's love languages, and it was really hard before I understood that to receive. I would always be like, why is he buying me that? And that's not a good thing for the person that's giving. So once I realized that, I was so apologetic, like, wow, this is your way of expressing. It's not like you're trying to give me a gift of, it was never, I'm sorry or anything like that. It was just so random and I just couldn't understand. But now that I do, I receive it with an open heart for sure. But that is some people, that's their love language, and you wonder, why do I always find something on my desk? It could be your professional relationship. You might have a colleague that always likes to give. They see that you are in need. They always are looking around to see who needs what. It could even be help. It could be little trinkets that they give. I had a partner like that before too, a professional partner, and she would give gifts all the time, and I just couldn't understand. I'm like, why is she doing that? But that again was her love language. The next would be quality time, and that's spending undivided meaningful time together. you know there are those in relationships that maybe the partner just prefers to stay home in their man cave or in their room by themselves all the time. But then the other partner really likes to just cuddle up on the sofa or just spend that time in the same room, just being there. I know a lot of the open floor plans that many new homes have allows for those people that really enjoy that quality time. So everyone being in the same area, and if that again is part of your relationship where maybe you like to not spend that much quality time, or you might be the one that loves spending that quality time, take into consideration again what the other person needs. If you like a lot of quality time and your partner doesn't, give them space. Don't overbear them with, oh, you have to be with me, we have to be together. Give them that space to be alone sometimes. If it's the opposite, if you know that your partner really likes that quality time and you don't, just be intentional and spend that time with them. Maybe sit in the kitchen or at the bar with while they're cooking, or sitting in the same room with them while they are looking at their favorite movie. I'm not saying you have to do it all the time, but at moments you really need to take that into consideration, and that will change the the whole scope of your relationship. It really, really will. Let me see. And Sassy, you're a mountain time. Okay. Happy Thursday, Slasher Chick. Great to see you. Great to see you for sure. So that is number 4 out of the 5 is quality time. All right. And let's look at the last one would be words of affirmation. Let me see. Did I put that one up? Let me go. Okay, there it is. All right, words of affirmation. And this is something that this is part of my love language. And I remember sharing with y'all when my daughters were in the state championship basketball game. But leading up to that game, as they were continuously winning, I would have words of affirmation on the mirrors in their bathrooms, just to show them, like, I love you, I believe in you. And if you're not receiving that and you need those words of affirmation, no matter what type of relationship you're in, you could do this for yourself, putting those sticky notes up and just showing yourself that you love you, and doing that. But using verbal expressions of love, praise, and appreciation is what you would give to someone who enjoys and whose love language is words of affirmation. And so now you may be wondering, well, Coach Sherry, how do you know what your love language is, or what your partner's love language is? Well, I just want to first share with you that, all the love languages, all 5 of them, which are, if you didn't write them down, acts of service, physical touch, receiving gifts, quality time, and words of affirmation. All of these love languages apply to both romantic relationships and familial bonds, including relationships with children, as well as in your professional life. So you may be wondering, well, how do I find out? I think I know what my love language is, but I'm just not sure. And so there is a free quiz that you can take. And so this is how you would identify your love language. And let me see. Okay, here it is. All right. So if you go to fivelovelanguages.com, there's a free quiz and you can select the one that you want. It can either be for your romantic life, family, friendships, or your workplace. And I think that the workplace, especially, is something that will be great to do with your team if you work on a team to understand like what is everyone's and you might be like, but I don't love the people I work with. But you have to work with the people you work with, and when you're working 9 times out of 10, especially during the day, you're spending more awake hours with those people than you are with your family members. So understanding, what's important to them, how they like to receive information, maybe I know there's 5 generations in the workforce as well. So, understanding how they like to receive praise, how they like to be handled. When we talk about the acts of service, physical touch, we're not going to do physical touch now, not with the people we work with, but receiving gifts, quality time, words of affirmation. And especially if you are a manager or a supervisor, this is really helpful. But definitely with the romantic side, with your family, with your friends, understanding what their love language is important as well. And let's see. Oh, hey, Rooted in Essential Oils. Great to see you. Thank you so much for being here. All right. Now, when we look at that, the fivelovelanguages.com, again, it's free and it's based on the book that was written by Gary Chapman, which is the Five Love Languages. And again, I think you should all have multiple copies because they make great gifts for weddings, for bridal showers, even for baby showers. Understanding your children is so important too. What is their love language? And all of your children are different. So when you can understand that can be a game changer for your family. All right. So let me see. So the love language and it can evolve over time. But oh wait, y'all, I'm jumping ahead a little bit. I have my notes here because I want to talk about identifying your own love language. And even before you take the quiz, or if you're just out and about talking this over with some family or friends, if you're like, have you ever heard of the love languages? What are your thoughts? As you do that, I want you to reflect on past experiences. Think about what makes you feel most loved and appreciated. Reflect on past relationships and moments when you felt truly valued. When were those times when you really felt truly valued? Like, oh, this person really, really, they get me. They get me. And I love them even that much more for it. They really, it may be after a couple of conversations, a couple of interactions, and that really makes you want to be in that relationship even more. Again, you want to take that quiz to see what your results are. All right. The next would be to observe your reactions. Pay attention to how you respond to different expressions of love. Do you feel happiest when receiving compliments, spending quality time, or getting a thoughtful gift? And this is something, again, that you can help others around you figure out what their love language is. I love having these types of conversations, especially if I'm out with a group of friends or family members and we're just around talking. And even especially young people, when I'm talking with them about their different relationships, if they don't have the quiz right there, these are just table talk that you can just really pull some things out. And these are things you should know for yourself about yourself. Observing how you react to different things. What are you paying most attention to? And do you like spending that quality time? And these are questions you should be asking yourself right now, and I hope you are. The next you want to do is to consider childhood needs. Sometimes your love language may be influenced by what you lacked in childhood. For example, if you didn't receive much verbal praise, you may value words of affirmation more as an adult. So sometimes what you lacked as a child is something that you crave more as you get older, or you may have seen it in different relationships outside of what you grew up in, and you're like, "Ooh, that's what I want," or you just want the opposite of what you didn't have. So you want to consider that, and you want to know, like, where is this love language coming from, and you go as far back as your childhood. The next is to ask yourself key questions. You want to reflect on what you enjoy doing for others and what you appreciate most when others do it for you. This can provide insights into your love language. So, if you love it when you receive those gifts, might be a gift giver. And some people will say, oh, it's better to give than receive, and this person just wants, you know they need to understand that that doesn't that doesn't make them a true a good person in a relationship. And so that's a reflective moment, like, wow, I feel like I'm only getting things and I'm not giving things. Let me change some things. Let me be more intentional with how I'm showing up in my relationships. The next is discuss with loved ones. So you want to discuss and talk to your partner or your close friends about how you feel most loved, and ask for their observations. They may say, you may think that you are a giver. You may think, yeah, I do acts of service. Yeah. Or I I do receiving gifts. You might hear some banging. I think my husband's making something out there. But you might receive gifts and you say, "Yeah, I like to give gifts. That's what I do." But your loved ones will tell you the truth. Like, "No, girl, that's not that's not what you do. You like to receive gifts and don't give anything back. You come to the house on the holidays empty-handed and leave with arms full." And we've noticed that about you. So, definitely ask your loved ones and talk to them about how you feel most loved, and let them know, I really appreciate when people give me words of affirmation. That really helps me. I don't need those gifts all the time, but if you just tell me that, encourage me, motivate me, inspire me to do better, I that really helps me along the way. I get it. I have a special meeting or important meeting, and you wake up, you might have a gift box right there, but that doesn't do it for you. Maybe it's just telling me good luck, or I believe in you, I'm proud of you. That's all it needs, and that doesn't even cost anything. Some people think I'm a just pour all these gifts onto them so that they can love me anymore. But if the person that you are pouring all those gifts to, if that's not their love language, they're not going to appreciate it. And then, you and those in your circle may look at it like, oh, this person just wants to, they don't care. They're using him or her. All they do is take, take, take. But the person's giving. So it's hard to not receive it, but it's just the way that you do receive it that matters, because you have to take into consideration that that might be their love language too. But again, it's going to take communication to so that they can understand you don't always have to buy me a gift. And let me see in the comments. Yes. All right. Now, the next section that I want to talk about is how you love languages evolve over time. Because just because you may be, you may have a certain type of love language now, as you grow, as you experience new things in life, you might change. You may go through a coaching session, you may have therapy, counseling, you may have witnessed some things in life, you may have experienced some great things, some tragic things that may change you a little bit. And just getting older anyway, and the way you think, the way that you experience life, can evolve over time. And so if that happens, let's see, if that happens, and that's now where I come to hear that love languages evolve over time. And so that happens in a variety of ways. And I'm sorry. So love languages again can evolve over time in relationships due to these various factors. And so the first thing is that life changes. Life changes, such as major life events like marriage, parenthood, or career changes, can shift priorities and needs, leading to changes in love languages. So, an example could be a person who valued gifts might start valuing acts of service more after having children. Having children can show you that, you know what? No, I don't I don't need any more clothes for this baby. What I would love if you could come over and just cook a meal for our family, or help me fold these clothes instead of buying more clothes. So life changes. You start to have a different perspective on things. The next would be personal growth. And as individuals grow and change, their preferences for how they give and receive love can also change. And this evolution can be influenced by increased self awareness and changing emotional needs. So, emotional intelligence is huge. EQ at work, that was one of the first systems that I learned when I was going into coaching. It was EQ at work, and that's emotional intelligence. And the more that you become self aware and have that personal growth, the more your love language can possibly change as well, can evolve. It'll evolve as you evolve, it will evolve too. You'll start to see more importance in different things. You will see how you can change and how you show up for others as well. And the next would be relationship dynamics. And that's the dynamics within a relationship, which can also cause shifts. For instance, if one partner becomes, let's say, more attuned to the other's needs, they might adapt their love language to better align with their partners. Now, I don't always agree with totally changing your love language to accommodate your partners. I feel like it should be a two-way street. I respect your love language, you respect mine. They may be different, and at different times is when they show up for each, for us. But I don't agree with changing what your love language is completely to accommodate that. But I do know there's sometimes a more dominant person in the relationship. So, maybe the way that they show you love, you receive it, and then you just show them how you would like to receive. And over time and after communication, it will eventually come around where they're just not as conscious or intentional with doing it the way that you like it, which is unfortunate. Now, this is kind of probably when relationships starts breaking down. I definitely know that when it comes to quality time, that's definitely sometimes a deal breaker in many relationships. So you really want to be mindful. And if your partner is not mindful, definitely try and have those deep conversations with them and express it in different ways. It may even end up coming down to having a relationship session, a relationship therapy, relationship coach, however you want to do it. I know in professional life, it might be team building exercises, just to, we can all respect one another's language, how we want to be communicated with, how we want to receive things. But definitely, in relationship, it's definitely a two-way street. The fourth is unmet childhood needs. Sometimes love languages evolve as individuals recognize and address unmet needs from their childhood. And that could look like someone who lacked physical affection as a child might develop a stronger preference for physical touch as an adult. It's interesting sometimes if you were part of a very active family when you were growing up, a family that, always spent quality time, it might have been a good time to you. But as you get older and you get into your own relationships, you may want to pull back and not have as much quality time. You might really honor and look forward to that quiet alone time. And I know that's me sometimes. I had a family, we always did something all the time. But my preference as an adult is to just kind of chill. I'd rather just be in the cut. Now, when I'm with my family, all of my family, I have a good time. I love it, but it's just that's not my love language anymore. That's what I grew up in, but I've evolved, and that's not my love language right now. So the next you want to do is, well, first of all, you want to overall, the love languages are not static. Just understand that. So if they do change, you definitely, have to be understanding with that, because they can change as individuals and your relationships evolve. And that's not a bad thing. So if that happens, don't look at it like, oh my goodness, I can't believe that we are so different. If that person is so different, you have to also look at yourself. And are you different too? And if not, what has it changed for you? And also be specific on what has changed for them. The next is, how you may be wondering, well, Coach Sari, how can I adapt my love language if my partner's changes over time, right? How can I change my love language? What does that look like for me? How can I adapt? And one is to have open communication. So you definitely want to have regular discussions, and discuss your needs and preferences with your partner. Definitely understand each other's love languages, because that can help bridge gaps and foster mutual appreciation and respect. You definitely want to try to align with your partner's evolving preferences, but you don't want to lose yourself within it. And that's why these strategies are so important. So, again, open communication. Communication is so key in every relationship. Active communication, being able to listen as well as speak. Don't try to overtalk your partner when they're sharing what they're going through, what they just experienced that made them change slightly. Changes can be slight or huge, but oftentimes when we talk about love language, they will be slight. The next is to compromise and have flexibility. Be willing to adjust your expressions of love. If your partner's love language shifts, try to incorporate those new preferences into your interactions. If they are more into acts of service, because listen, I am not a cook at all. Not at all. And that's not expected. And things are shifting because the older we get, and with maybe some health challenges, you want to do more, have a more healthier lifestyle, and that does require being in the kitchen a little bit more. I mean, I still don't, I can't do it, but I do know places that have healthier options that I can get the food from. So I'm being more flexible in that way. And just trying to incorporate that. If you know that maybe because of health reasons your partner wants to spend more quality time, maybe they have a slight undercurrent fear of what's going on with their life and their health. Have compassion around that. And if you typically want to just close up in a room, periodically come out and check on them, sit with them for moments, and let them know, reassure them that you're here for them and that they are safe. And also, learn and practice. Actively learn about and practice your partner's love language. Sometimes it's going to be hard for you, so you have to be very intentional and understand, okay, I am going to do this right now. I'm going to pick this up for them. I know that this is their favorite flower, so I'm going to pick this up just because. And so you want to, that might involve also giving physical touch, spending quality time, or offering words of affirmation. It's all going to depend on their needs. So you might do something that's completely out of character, quote unquote, for you. But if you know that that's your partner's love language, it's worth it. It really is. It really helps your relationship so much when you understand each other's love language. This is not the time to be stubborn, not by any means. The next is seek feedback. Ask for feedback to ensure your efforts are resonating with your partner. You don't want to overdo it where it's appearing to be fake and phony. That's not adapting at all. You also, this can help you fine tune your approach and make your expressions of love more effective and more authentic. You want to be authentic with it. Of course, at first, as you are being intentional with it, you have to consciously say, this is what you're going to do. But when you see how much happier your partner is, how much more receptive, giving, and just willing to, just willing, then it'll make you say, "I'm gonna do this again. I'm gonna do this again." Wow, I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting that reaction. I'm definitely going to try that one again. So definitely consider that as you adapt. All right. And the next is patience. And patience and understanding. So you want to recognize that adapting to a new love language takes time and effort. So you have to be patient. It doesn't happen overnight, it's not one and done. And be patient with yourself as well as your partner as you navigate those changes. So that's important. Patience is key. And by employing these strategies that I just shared, you can better align with your partner's evolving love language and maintain a strong, loving relationship. That is going to be so important moving forward. All right. And let me see in the comments. Okay. Thank you, Rudy, again for the timestamp. So that's all I have for you regarding love language. I really hope that you were able to glean some nuggets from it. If you can, in the comment section, what is your love language? And have you ever done the love language quiz? I love that it's free. And so this is definitely something you, your partner, you and your friends, again, even on your professional team can do. And I love the site that I shared, and I'll put the link up again. Let me see. It's free. You know, the quizzes on that site are free. So I encourage you to go there and see. It will be worth it'll be well worth it. Now, you'll know yours, and that's why whoever you are in a relationship, personally or professionally, they also need to do it so that you can have the full scope of it. What's the fun of you just knowing your love language, but you don't know the love languages of the people around you? Because how are you going to respond to them that's going to be impactful and encouraging and supportive? That's what it's all about. Your love language is laughter, Vern. So what would that be under? Is that I guess quality time? Because are you laughing by yourself? Or are you laughing when you're amongst the ones that you love and enjoy? I love laughing too, for sure. Yes, definitely check out the website, Sassy. I think you would really appreciate it. Hi, Marlene Motivates. Thanks for coming in. I hope everything's going well for you. Oh my goodness, I was thinking about you the other day. I would love to be as close as you are to the beach right now. I would be there. I would do all my lives from there for sure. Thank you all for saying hello. Please check each other out. Sassy, I know that you are new here. Everyone in this building are wonderful. Please check them out if you are not already familiar with them. And okay, quality time and compassion. Yes. And it's important to know your love language. It's a game changer, I promise you. When you walk around, you can even share with others who are new to you that you know you're going to have a long partnership with. You might be collaborating on a huge project. And you just you just really want people to understand you as well as you understand them. It's a great icebreaker. So if you are going on a retreat of any sort, knowing love languages is a great icebreaker, a great activity to do. It just it's a way for you to be more appreciative as well. Again, when people do the acts of service for me, or actually receiving gifts was a challenge for me because that's not one of my love languages, to receive. And it's growing on me, though. I'm much better because I understand what it's all about. But I remember even down to the ice, and some of you may know I'm an ice eater. And even though I go into remission, I have my backsliding moments. And when you have a particular thing that you love, some people think it's just any kind of ice. And so I remember that professional partner I was telling y'all about. She would bring me, in beginning of meetings, she would just bring me a cup of random ice because she thought I just ate any ice. And I would look at it like, that's not the ice. But when I learned love languages, I started just saying thank you, and just eating the ice, even if it wasn't my favorite, because she took the time out, and she was, that's her love language, was to give gifts. And I just received it, and I was like, thank you. And that helped her, made her smile. But when in the beginning, when I would be like, no, that's not the right kind, I could see the defeat in her face. And that's why too, if you have children, understanding their love languages is so important, so that as you are, dealing with them, and raising them, the way that you respond to the little things that they do, you're going to uplift them and continue to inspire them to do more of that, because that brings them joy as well. So thank you, Marlene, for asking everyone to hit the light. It's great to see you. And you're saying hello to everyone. All right. So that's all I have for you, y'all. This is what I do. And it has been my pleasure sharing it with you today. And I don't think that Slasher Chick went live yet. Did you go live yet, Slasher Chick? If not, I encourage you all to check out her channel. She's also doing the 90-day every day going live, and she's just a couple of days behind me. And you know what, Slasher Chick, I'm not sure when 90 is going to hit. I have to check, but I am going to do this through June 30th, because June 30th is my actual anniversary, YouTube anniversary date. It's my Sweet 16. And so that's going to be my last day of going live. So I have to see how many more days it is until June 30th. But if you are watching this on the replay, thank you. And again, put it down in the comment section. What is your love language? And is this something that you have already been doing? And if so, how has it been a game changer for you? Because it surely has been a game changer for me. All right, everyone, I appreciate you for being here again. And until we speak again, I hope that you all stay safe and practice. And when I say practice, I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I've been seeing too many people out here not practicing, and when they get into the game, they are missing all kind of shots. And I want you to make your shots so that you can win. Again, I am Coach Sherry.